Hey everyone, you got Matt from Dynamic here. I run developer experience, and joined with me today is Derek. If you could introduce yourself there.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Derek. I'm the founder and CEO of ZeroDev. We work on account abstraction infrastructure, and we are happy to be a partner with Dynamic.
Amazing. Likewise. Today we're going to give you a brief overview of ZeroDev, how it works, a brief overview of Dynamic, and we'll end by integrating the two together to achieve account abstraction on all of your users' wallets.
Awesome. Okay, so ZeroDev is a account abstraction infrastructure provider, and we basically do three things, right? So the first thing is that we allow you to create what we call smart wallets, which are basically wallets powered by account abstraction, right? So you can create smart wallets based on any number of authentication methods, whether it's like email, passkey, social, but more importantly, you can even use it on top of popular wallet onboarding solutions such as Dynamic, so that you can use Dynamic to handle the onboarding and the logging, and then afterwards your user will get a smart wallet through ZeroDev, right? And then the second thing that we do is just like a very large variety of very powerful smart wallet features that you can enable for users. For example, paying gas is a very, very popular thing. You can save your users from having to like deposit money into their wallets before they can interact with your application, right? And then some of like the other really powerful functions are like batching transactions to save transaction time, as well as like account recovery, even multi-sig, as well as like very advanced features like session keys. And then the third thing that we do, again, very advanced, is that you can actually program smart contracts that change the behavior of your smart wallets, right? So one such example would be, for example, if you want it so that when your user is making like a large trade, you want the user to present a second signer, a second wallet in order for the trade to go through. So just like as like a security measure, right? So like for the smaller trades, one signer. For the larger trades, two signers. That's the kind of logic you can program into ZeroDev, for your specific application. So again, to recap, three things with ZeroDev: creating smart wallets, using powerful smart wallet features, and even extending your smart wallets. So that's ZeroDev. So getting started with ZeroDev is very simple, right? The first thing that you do is that you will go to the ZeroDev dashboards to create a project, right? So, I already logged into my dashboard here, but basically creating a project just means that um, you essentially put out a name for your project, of course, and then you select a network that you want to, build your project on, right? So in this case, we would be doing, say, Polygon Mumbai. So once you created the dashboards, you get what we call a project ID, which is basically the API key. So from this point on, um, you can do a few things. So one thing that you can do is that, assuming that you want to sponsor gas for users, which is like a very common thing to do, when using ZeroDev. So you will go back to the dashboards and you can set up these gas policies, which basically specify the conditions under which you will actually be sponsoring gas for users. So one very common thing to do, for example, will be you say that, okay, I'm going to sponsor up to say 1 Matic per day, right? So you will do that here. And that's how much gas you will be sponsoring for users. So once you have done that, then you will just be using ZeroDev through our SDK, right? So you will be installing the ZeroDev SDK, of course, and then so the code is actually very, very simple. To use the ZeroDev SDK. It's really not that different from like any popular Web3 libraries like Ethers or VM, right? So here you'd be, of course, importing from ZeroDev, and then you'd be initializing the ZeroDev SDK with right here, right? So with like the project ID they just created from the dashboard, right? And then from this point on, you can start sending transactions. So in this case, we're sending a transaction that mints an NFT, right? Um, and then so like all the powerful ZeroDev features are offered through our SDK. So here we have an example showing batching transactions. So here you can see that batching transactions is as simple as like just like passing two like user ops, which are basically like our names for transactions into the ZeroDev SDK. Yeah, so that's like a very quick overview of like how to use ZeroDev.
Thanks, Derek. So now what we'll do is integrate ZeroDev into Dynamic so that all of your new users, whether they have an embedded wallet, can take advantage of account abstraction. And we're going to use a few resources. Here we have the documentation. It's under embedded wallets account abstraction. It talks you through it all. we're going to use the developer dashboard, app.dynamic.xyz, and create React app version, which I'll walk you through in a second. Now, lastly, we're going to refer to the dashboard that Derek just showed us a little while ago. Here we have our project ID. We're going to copy that because we'll need it later. All you need to do to toggle smart contracts on, or smart contract wallets, is toggle on ZeroDev right here and paste in your project ID. By default, this is toggled on. All new users get smart contract wallets. It can't be retroactive to existing users at the moment. Now, once you've done that, that's it. Very simply, your users now have smart contract wallets. So what we've done here is set up a demo where we're using dynamic embedded wallets. So when you sign up, you get a wallet, and I'll show you that now. The way that's configured is very simply through the embedded wallet section here with dynamic embedded wallets turned on. On first transaction, we need you to claim it, but not before, meaning you can get your wallet first, but you don't need to sign for anything with it in the beginning, so you can defer that. And we have email sign up turned on. Back to our OTP. I have 143081. Indeed, we have a wallet. This is the information capture step. It's a separate feature. And in a moment, you will see that you have a dynamic embedded wallet. So at this point, we're going to jump into the code. What we've done here is define a transaction component. And very simply, I'd like you just to take away that when Derek showed you the provider that you initialize and get from ZeroDev, since you've configured the same through Dynamic, when you access your primary wallet and the connector on that primary wallet, we have a special method just for ZeroDev, which I'm really grateful for, to check, is this a ZeroDev connector? It's imported from here, the Ethereum-AA package. So you can import that and you can run a guard check to make sure that this is indeed an account abstraction wallet. If it is, we have a special method on this connector called getAccountAbstractionProvider. This returns the exact provider that Derek showed you earlier. So as you can see, as long as you have that provider, you can do precisely what you can do in the ZeroDev docs and demo. Exact same thing, no different. Here we're sending a batch transaction, which we can also do over here in the demo. So if we want to mint, what we'll do is we'll have to get through the passkey step. So I'll do that for you now. So we have our OTP step. Once again, we need to verify the email because we're about to get access to the ability to sign for transactions. So it's going to ask us to re-verify the email. We get a code, enter that code, it's validated. We can then create a new passkey. In this case, I'll do it through 1Password. Right here, save. And we're done. It's now loading and running that batch transaction. We sign for it using our passkey. And with our embedded wallet, which we just received with zero balance in it, this may take a minute for the transactions to process. You'll see in a moment that we get not just one, but 2 NFTs. And this is exactly the same demo that lovely Derek built for ZeroDev in their documentation too. So again, same thing, just through Dynamic.
Yeah, no, it's worth noting that like 2 ZeroDev features are showcased here, right? So one is that we're just able to send a transaction from a wallet with no gas, right? So the gas is sponsored for the transaction. And the second thing is that we were able to actually mint the NFT twice, right? So we're actually batching 2 transactions in one. Yeah, so just in this very simple demo, we have showcased some really, really truly powerful things you can do with the account abstraction.
I think that's a great place to end. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks, Derek.